integral representation of f of x is equal to 1 0 mod x less than 1 and mod x bigger than 1. Okay, so this is the given example, and further they have given one question that and hence evaluate. Okay, and hence evaluate integral 0 to infinity sine lambda cos lambda x divided by lambda d lambda. And second, they are asking us find out integral 0 to infinity sine lambda divided by lambda d lambda. Okay, that is the question. So let us find out Fourier integral representation. So understand, Fourier integral representation means you have to find both the things, means Fourier transform as well as inverse Fourier transform. That is the meaning of finding Fourier integral representation. So we have the formula. Before that, we will check whether the given function is even or odd, because we want to reduce computation. So let us check whether given function is even or odd. So how to check, that was the biggest question. So you can check by using definition. So definition says that if, let me revise, if f of x is equal to f of minus x for all x defined on the domain, for all values x belongs to that domain, then it is called as, this implies f of x is an even function, So let me revise definitions. Even function, and if I have odd, so f of x is equal to minus times f of minus x, or you can say f of minus x is equal to minus times f of x, then we say that then f of x is referred as is an odd function. Okay, that is algebraic definition. But geometrically, can you see the definition? Yes, of course. Geometrically, if I have a graph of that function, something like this, this is y-axis and x-axis, and if I draw the graph of that function, and it looks like something symmetric about y-axis, for example, y is equal to x square. If I take that example, then it looks like this way, parabola, y is equal to x square. Then we can see it is symmetric about this y-axis. This is x-axis, this is y-axis, and it is symmetric about this y-axis. That means this function is an even function. This function is an even function by looking at graph. So you have to remember, if the graph of that function is symmetric about y-axis, then it is referred as even function. And algebraic definition we have here. You can verify by using algebraic definition. If I take minus times x square, it is simply x square. That gives me same answer, y. So algebraically also you can verify it is an even function. Now next, if I have odd function, so its graph has to be symmetric in opposite quadrant. So if I have graph something like this, if I take example, another example, say it is x cube, so that will look like this. Okay, and this way it will go like this way. Okay, ये यहाँ से जाएगा, ये नीचे जाएगा. So it is symmetric in the opposite quadrant. Or you can say, if I take symmetry about y-axis, so it will be here. Okay, and then again symmetry with respect to this x-axis, then it will go to this side. That it will look like this way. So we have to consider this much part, this and this much part. So if it is symmetric in the opposite quadrant, then it is odd function. Okay, so by looking at the graph, you can identify whether given function is even or odd function, or you can verify algebraically. Okay, there are two ways. So I think in the curve tracing chapter, you already learned this even function, odd function, all these things. Okay, now we have example here, function f of x. F of x is equal to, define as 1 0 mod x less than 1 and mod x bigger than 1. Okay, so mod x less than 1, what it means? Can you tell me? Mod x less than 1 means what?
So minus 1 to 1. X.
Yes. Yes, it is correct. So minus 1 less than x less than 1, and we have here 0 for x bigger than 1 and x strictly less than minus 1. So beyond this 1 and left to that minus 1, we have value 0. So let us draw this and we will identify whether given function is odd or even. So if I draw this is y-axis, this is x-axis. Okay, and then in the interval minus 1 to 1. So let us say 1 is here and here we have value 0, okay, and negative side we have -1, suppose here, okay. And now if I draw the graph, so 1 unit in the interval -1 to 1, so this is a horizontal line, or you can say parallel to y-axis, x-axis. So 1 unit suppose it is here, and then we have this line -1 to 1, we have 1 value of the given function, and x bigger than 1 and less than -1, we have value here. We can see from 1 and bigger than 1 we have value 0, and from less than -1 we have value 0. So graph of that function is looks like this. Minus infinity to -1 is this, and then -1 to 1 value 1, and then 1 to infinity is 0. Okay, so by looking at this graph we can identify that function is symmetric about y-axis. जितना भी पार्ट राइट हैंड साइड पे है, यहाँ पे देख सकते हो आप, ये वाला पार्ट, दिस लाइन and this line, exactly same thing we have here to the left of that y-axis, this line and this much part. So there is a symmetric about graph is symmetric about y-axis, and therefore we can say f of x is an even function. So it is sufficient, therefore it is sufficient to find Fourier cosine transform. Instead of finding Fourier transform. So we are not going to use first formula because we identified that it is an even function. So we will use cosine formula. So therefore Fourier cosine transform f suffix c of lambda, it is given by, remember that formula, it is integral 0 to infinity f of u cos lambda, because we are finding Fourier cosine cos lambda u du, okay. And we have this formula, and function is defined from 0 to infinity. Actually it is defined from -infinity to infinity, so we are just considering 0 to infinity part, and in the 0 to infinity we have to break the interval from 0 to 1 and then 1 to infinity. Only half part we have to consider. So therefore it becomes 0 to 1, and in that interval we have the value of the given function as 1. Okay, we can see here the value of f of u, it is only 1. So therefore I'm putting that value here 1 into cos lambda u term as it is du, and then 1 to infinity. Okay, so I'm writing from 1 to infinity, value of that function you can see it is 0, this graph, and therefore it is 0 times cos lambda u du. And then second integral will become 0. Simply we have to solve first integral, 0 to 1 cos lambda u du. Okay, fine. Now we know how to solve this with respect to u. So integrating this cos lambda u with respect to u, we will get minus sine lambda u and divided by lambda, because this time lambda is just a constant number and we can take it to denominator using the formula. So 0 to 1. Now put upper limit. So what is the, sorry, it is not minus, it is plus, because integration of cos lambda u, it is sine lambda u, and integration of sine is minus cos, right? So sine lambda u divided by lambda, 0 to 1, and if I put upper limit, so just replacing value of u by 1, we'll get sine lambda divided by lambda, and if I put lower limit, then it is minus sine 0, but sine 0 is 0. So simply what we get, f suffix c of lambda equal to sine lambda divided by lambda. That is the Fourier cosine transform. Now we want to find inverse Fourier cosine transform, because our aim is to find Fourier integral representation. Okay, that means both the things you have to find, Fourier transform as well as inverse Fourier transform. But we identified given function is an even function, so it is suffices to find out Fourier cosine transform and inverse Fourier cosine transform. So therefore next we have inverse Fourier cosine transform. It is given by f of x is equal to 2 upon pi. Let us revise that second formula. Fourier inverse Fourier cosine transform, 2 upon pi integral 0 to infinity f suffix s of, sorry, not s, it is c, because cosine transform of lambda into, we have to consider cos lambda x d lambda. That was the second formula. Just look at the difference. Here we have cos lambda u, whereas here we have cos lambda x, and here we are integrating with respect to u. But in case of inverse Fourier cosine transform, we are integrating with respect to lambda, not with respect to u. Okay, now put this value of f suffix c of lambda in this expression. So this expression becomes 2 upon pi integral 0 to infinity, and the value of this expression we can see here, sine lambda divided by lambda into cos lambda x d lambda. Okay, fine. So therefore at left hand side we got f of x, and at right hand side we got some integral. So let me write f of x function. So this implies left hand side is 1 0 for mod x less than 1 and for mod x bigger than 1, and right hand side it is 2 upon pi integral 0 to infinity sine lambda divided by lambda cos lambda x d lambda. That's fine. So this is called as the Fourier integral representation. That means at right hand side you will have one integral, and at left hand side you will have some function, and this is referred as Fourier integral representation. Okay, we got this. Now first question is, what is the first question? Let us see first question. Their first question is finding or evaluating this integral. Integral 0 to infinity sine lambda divided by lambda cos lambda is d lambda. That we got. Just 2 upon pi we have to multiply to the left hand side. And second question is evaluate this integral 0 to infinity sine lambda divided by lambda d lambda. Okay. So let us solve first question. Sine lambda cos lambda x divided by lambda. Okay. So we obtain last expression, we can see here 0 to infinity sine lambda divided by lambda cos lambda x d lambda, and therefore multiplying both sides by pi upon 2. So therefore this implies integral pi upon 2, and here we have 0 or mod x less than 1, and for mod x bigger than 1 we have integral 0 to infinity sine lambda cos lambda x divided by lambda d lambda. That is the answer of first question. Now second question is, we want to find integral, we want integral value of this sine lambda divided by lambda d lambda. Okay, now you tell me what value of x here in this expression, last expression, what value of x I have to choose so that this will give me this integral as integral 0 to infinity sine lambda divided by lambda d lambda. Yes.
0.
Yes, of course it is 0, because cos 0 then becomes 1. So if I put, let me call this as equation number 2. So if I put x is equal to 0 in equation 2 on both sides, means right hand side, left hand side, then that will give me at left hand side, just check in which interval that 0 lies. Here in this interval mod x less than 1, that means -1 to 1. In that interval that 0 number lies, and therefore we can say the value of that integral has to be pi by 2. So therefore putting x is equal to 0 into left hand side becomes pi by 2. Okay, so pi by 2 and equal to right hand side integral 0 to infinity sine lambda divided by lambda cos 0 is 1 d lambda. Okay, so we got the value of this integral 0 to infinity sine lambda divided by lambda d lambda equal to pi by 2. And in the Laplace transform also we seen the proof of this formula, that integral 0 to infinity sine t divided by t dt, it is equal to pi by 2, and which we obtain by using Laplace transform as well. And using the Fourier transform also we have this formula for integral 0 to infinity sine lambda divided by lambda d lambda equal to pi by 2. Okay, so that was the first question, finding Fourier integral representation and evaluating those two integrals. So in short, you have to remember Fourier integral representation means you need to find Fourier transform as well as inverse Fourier transform. And before that, you have to identify whether given function is even or odd. If it is neither even nor odd, then you have to prefer formula number 1, that is in terms of exponential from minus infinity to infinity you have to consider it. Okay, instead of considering 0 to infinity. So that was the first question. Next question here we have second. Okay, let me take second question. Okay, find Fourier cosine transform. Find Fourier cosine transform of f of x is equal to cos x 0, and it is defined 0 to a and x bigger than a. Okay, so in case of Fourier cosine transform, only that formula of respect to transform you have to consider. They are not asking here Fourier integral representation. They are asking only Fourier cosine transform. That means you need to find only f suffix c of lambda. That's it. You don't have to find inverse Fourier cosine transform, because they are asking only Fourier cosine transform. And in the last example, they asked us finding Fourier integral representation. So integral representation means both things you have to find, whereas in case of Fourier sine or Fourier cosine transform, respective transform you have to find. Okay, so therefore let us find out Fourier cosine transform. Now you tell me the formula for Fourier cosine transform. Now you know that formula.
fc of lambda equal to integral 0 to infinity
integral 0 to
lambda u.
Cos lambda u du, right? Okay, so therefore we have Fourier cosine transform f suffix c of lambda equals to integral 0 to infinity f of u cos lambda u du. Fine, let us take the interval 0 to a and then a to infinity. Let us break this integral from 0 to a and then a to infinity. So this becomes 0 to a, and in that interval we have value cos x. So f of u, that means it is cos u, and here we have cos lambda u du, and next in the next term we have it is 0. So therefore directly we can write it is simply 0. Okay. Now next question is how to solve this integral. That is the question.
Sir,
By
my multiplied and dividing by 2 आणि मग cos a cos b 2 cos a cos b चा फॉर्म्युला.
Right, exactly. So let me write 2 times cos a cos b. What is that? Cos, हमें cos a cos b चाहिए, तो cos a
plus b.
Okay, a plus b, then it will be minus, and then plus we have to write na cos a minus b. Right, is it right? Cos a cos b minus sin a sin b plus cos a cos b
बरोबर आहे.
plus sin a sin b sin b. So this will get cancelled and it will be 2 times, right? So this is correct formula, and so we have this formula, and let us use this formula by adjusting 2, or you can divide by 2, and so that you will have this formula. So therefore instead of writing here 2, I will write here this side 1 upon 2, and so therefore this integral, last integral, becomes integral 0 to a, and using this formula cos a cos b. So therefore here we can identify the value of a. I just want to consider a as a lambda u instead of considering u. I want lambda minus 1, lambda plus 1 term. That's why I'm considering this lambda as a lambda u as a and u as a b, or you can say 1 as a b. So therefore according to this formula we have integral 0 to a cos a plus b, that 1 by 2 times. Okay, cos a plus b means lambda u plus u, that is lambda plus 1 times u, and plus cos a minus b, that means cos lambda minus 1 times u, and here we have du. Okay, so just using this formula we separate out this cos term, and now we can apply integration. So therefore this integration becomes 1 by 2 outside, and integral 0 to a cos lambda plus 1 u du, and plus 1 by 2 times integral 0 to a cos lambda minus 1 u du. Now you evaluate this. It is 1 by 2 times sine lambda plus 1 u divided by lambda plus 1, because we are integrating with respect to u and limits from 0 to a, and similarly here we have 1 by 2 sine lambda minus 1 u divided by lambda minus 1, and it is also evaluated from 0 to a. Okay, now put upper limit and lower limit and you will get some expression that will be the Fourier cosine transform. So let us evaluate this further. So therefore it is equal to 1 by 2, and if I put upper limit a, so this will be gives us lambda plus 1 a divided by lambda plus 1, and lower limit, at lower limit sine 0 is 0, so this whole quantity becomes 0, no need to write it, and 1 by 2 upper limit, that is a, so it gives us sine lambda minus 1 times a divided by lambda minus 1, and at lower limit it is 0, so sine 0 is 0. So finally what we obtain? We obtain 1 upon 2 in bracket sine lambda plus 1 a plus sine lambda minus 1 a, and divided by, sorry, not whole divided by, it is divided by lambda plus 1, and this is lambda minus 1. Okay, so this is Fourier cosine transform of the given function. That's the required answer. So in this example we just found out the Fourier cosine transform, not the Fourier integral representation. So that was the second question, finding Fourier cosine transform only. Okay, now next